And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Monday, June 26th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Oh, we've got a magnificent Monday going for us. The sun is shining, and we're glad to have you with us this morning. Each Monday at this time, we are on the air for Absolute Kubota, which is located at 1506 West Main in Lebanon. Clint Kelly is with us this morning. Clint, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
You are with you are the service manager, I think, service department at Absolute Kubota.
Yes, sir.
And Don Hamlet is on special assignment for today and maybe for another week. I'm not sure, but you're here, and I guess I passed by your place last night as I was mentioning to you, and that lot is just full of equipment out there. You've got a lot on display right now.
We do. We got a brand new sign up just a little while ago, so that's nice and shiny with all the new equipment out front, and you're right, it's pretty much packed from the gills.
Well, not being in sales, we probably won't talk as much about Kubota tractors and hay equipment and zero-turn mowers and RTVs this morning as we do what you do in the service department. But I think you have a service department that is probably envied by a lot of people. I hear good things about what you do.
We sure hope so. We love what we do. We have a great crew. I don't think we've ever had so many mechanics in our shop now, so we're running low on space, it seems like. We've got so many guys and so much equipment that we're pushing through.
Well, when Don is here, we talk many times about, especially in January and February, getting all your work done early. But now here we are in June. But there's if you haven't had service lately, you may need an oil change or you may have a breakdown, and you're right there when that happens.
Yes, sir. One of the great things right now is between people doing their first and second hay cut. If anything was working a little wonky on a baler or a hay cutter, now's a great time to give us a holler and get it in so we can get it worked on and ready before the second cut.
Well, now, what all are your responsibilities being in the service department?
So we just want to make sure that everything's running to customer satisfaction. So if you've got a tractor that the AC's not running, you can give us a call and we'll get that sorted out. If you've got blades, we got customers that, regardless of model, they'll bring in blades for us to sharpen on a regular basis. We work on Exmark, Hustler, and Kubota mowers, and then in pretty much anything that has the Kubota on the side of it, we'll work on it.
Is it best to have an appointment when you want service work done?
If you want it in and out as quick as possible, we definitely prefer it. That way we can give you the exact date that'll be worked on, and then it definitely expedites things.
But if you have a problem come in from the field or whatever, what are the chances of you most likely going to have to leave it there for a while?
You may not have to. I mean, even in stuff that it's a big repair and gets broken and it's completely broken, needs to be left there, it's still going to get looked at in a couple days. Now, it may take a while. We've had a tractor that caught fire that we had to completely rebuild, so that can take a while. Yeah. But we still get to it as quick as possible.
Well, Uncle Pete Norman is here with us this morning, and he's one of your customers, I think, and he wants to say a word or two.
Yeah, I've got to take my Exmark back in the morning, or today actually, because the parts came in, filters and stuff that needed to fix it. Now, when I take mine in, I have one saying for them: call me when you get it ready. I don't get in a hurry, but I make sure I mow my yard before I take it in.
You two know each other, I take it a little bit anyway.
The one thing that we prefer not to do is if there's a machine that's running, like Uncle Pete's mower, it just needed service. So when we didn't have the parts available for it, we just can let them know, like, hey, you can come get it and still run it. And once the parts are here, just bring it back in and we'll get them on there. There's no sense in letting it sit on the lot and just taking up space while it's still working.
Who do you have working with you in the service department?
So I've got Jeff Johnson as our service director, and then we have 6 mechanics now. So we've got a lot of guys working back there. It's probably, if we're talking about, just employees, it's the biggest department we've got, and we definitely stay busy. We love it back there.
Wow, I'm impressed, and you're staying busy, keeping up with all the work that's coming in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do.
Well, now, you ever get called on to sell something?
I'll get questions. I'll get questions about stuff, and I just try and send it back to Don. That could be his issue. And then if people have questions about when to service their brand new equipment, then they'll come see me.
Well, you've probably worked on a lot of different things. Is Kubota and the other things you carry, they pretty easy, pretty good to work on?
They're fantastic. There's things that may be more difficult to work on. That's the great thing of having certified mechanics that that have gone through Kubota certification to do those different repairs and diagnose different issues. So we're very, very thorough when it comes to things.
Well, as Don does say, you have everything from weed eaters to hay balers, including the tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, and RTVs that we talked about. What about servicing RTVs? They're a popular thing, and they can be recreational. They can be a combination. They can be all for farm work or something, but you see them all, I guess.
Yes, sir. And that's probably the one that should get the appointment more so than anything else, because we know when an RTV comes from a farm, it's needed yesterday before it even comes in. So that's one of those that definitely make an appointment, but we'll work on it and figure out anything that's going on with it. Talking to Don, he can always sell you a brand new winch and a light kit, and then my guys will get it installed to factory spec.
Well, Clint Kelly, thanks so much for being with us today. Appreciate your visit. And we'll remind everybody again, it's Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon. Their phone number, 615-449-6171, and the website is www.absolutekubota.com.
Thank you, Coleman. Have a great day.
We're 10 minutes after the hour, and I have asked Stephen Goodall, our assessor of property, to be my guest this morning, and he is here. And by the way, Uncle Pete will be here to talk with a big announcement on part 2 this morning. But he's sitting here at the table going to listen to me and Stephen, I guess. Stephen, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Fine. Your wife still making those trips?
Oh, yeah, she's gone right now. I was just trying to survive. She's been gone about 14 days. She gets back today. And so the kids and I, we've just been trying to make it as long as we can until she gets back.
Well, she has a great job. Every once in a while, I think she lets you go with her on one of these trips.
A lot of people think that. I mean, I've only been on probably 3 trips ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people think I'm the one that takes the pictures. I'm like, no, somebody's got to work around here, you know. But no, she does work. I mean, it is a job. I mean, she works very hard. But a lot of people.
Well, I won't say it's like herding cats. You get a bunch of people, and you're responsible for them. That is a job.
She takes good care of them. And it's a job. The times I have been with her, she's working and making sure everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to pull it off, and she does a good job.
Well, you are our assessor of property.
Yes, sir.
And have been. Is this in your second term?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I got elected 2016. I took over September 1st, 2016.
So we'll have election next year?
Yes, sir. 2024, and I plan on running again. I pick up my petition in October of this year, and I'll run in the Republican primary in March. And hopefully, if I win that, then I'll go into the general election in August of the 2024.
Well, some people say if a person doesn't have any opposition, they're either doing a good job and everybody is scared to run, or else nobody wants a job.
Well, it took me, I would say, honestly, a few years to get a good grasp of it. And now I'm pretty confident in how to do everything. But I joke with people and I say, once you actually understand what all goes in it, I don't know who would want it, really. But I enjoy doing it. It's a lot to it, and you try to solve problems that people think that you created, but all you really do is just record what they have, and but they confuse you with like the tax part of it, which is not what I do. The tax rates and stuff like that. That county commissioners, and a lot of times people call and say, "Hey, you want up on my taxes?" It's impossible for me to go up on their taxes unless they add something to their property. So I'll look at their card and make sure it's right, and I'll say, "Hey, do you have this, this, and this?" And they'll say yes or no, and then. But the only time that their taxes go up or down is tax rates, which hasn't changed in a few years, but. Reappraisal is a different thing. It's every 5 years here in Wilson County, and that's when you bring everything up to market value, all properties.
When's that due again?
Yeah, 2026. So we got a little time, and it's kind of confusing to some people, but we reappraise every year. Really, the reappraisal 2026 just ends the reappraisal. So we review properties every year, just certain ones. We take Wilson County, divide it up into maps, and we do so many every year. It's a reappraisal plan approved by the state that says we have to visit so many parcels every year, and so we're continuously updating. If someone adds a new deck or a swimming pool or something like that, well, if that's on our list to visit and they've done some upgrades or something, or took out a patio and built a deck, we'll get the card right and we'll update it that way.
How many people do you have in your office?
19, I believe, 19 or 20.
But there's some various, you have some people that work out in the field.
Yes.
I think pretty much all the time. Others strictly in the office.
We have commercial appraisers. We have residential field appraisers. We have appeals, which is going on right now, the County Board of Equalization. We have personal property, which is like if you own a business. We have Greenbelt for like farmers, for exemptions, State Board of Equalization like churches. We have everybody kind of does something different, but everybody kind of generally knows, can answer your questions. But it's pretty much a specialized, office. Each person has something to do, even though we have that many people.
Do you have people in your office nearly every day inquiring about something, or I mean, how heavily trafficked is it?
We don't have a lot of walk up. But we have phone calls all the time.
Yeah.
And most of our phone calls are really not for us. They're really for the trustee or someone else, but we don't mind, directing them. But yeah, it's only busy certain times when people call in their office. But yes, we're always updating addresses. We're always doing something. And most of the time it's putting on new construction, drawing it, because I have people go out there. The field appraisers will measure the house, just kind of sketch it. They'll bring it back to the office, and then we'll have somebody in the office that digitally puts it on the property record card for you, and we stay pretty busy, even though it's not reappraisal year or anything like that.
Okay, time for us to take a break. Stephen Goodall, our assessor of property from Wilson County, is here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota. Premium brands require premium parts and service. Contact Absolute Kubota's Elite Certified Service Department to schedule an appointment. 615-449-6171. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, THP. Wrapping up an accident in Robertson County. It's got traffic still slow westbound 24 at Pleasant View. So if you're leaving Nashville, headed towards Clarksville, give yourself a little bit of extra time. It's still heavy on Vietnam Vets, where we had that earlier wreck near Conference Drive. That's just really busy. Vietnam Vets trying to get working your way up to 65. Traffic still moving right along at this point as we stare at it live on 24. Just heavy as you come up through the Hickory Hollow area coming out of Rutherford County. Hey, it's time to call Crest Pest Control. They do more than your average pest control company. Trust me, these guys are absolutely the best. They're online at crestpestcontrol.net. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Collier Engineering is a civil engineering design firm that can provide surveying for your home or property. A family-owned business in Nashville, Collier Engineering has multiple employees in Wilson County, including survey manager Dan Curry. He's a registered land surveyor and a certified floodplain surveyor. He would love the opportunity to assist with your surveying needs. Visit collierengineering.com. Call 931-510-2800. Mention the ad and get 10% off.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. We have Stephen Goodall this morning. Uncle Pete is at the table. He's my guest for part two. Pete brought up something during the break here we might mention, and that's the aerial photography thing, which hasn't always been, but you can get on the computer and look from the air at, I guess, any parcel in the county?
Yeah, the state allows that. You choose those tools, and there's nothing substitutes like boots on the ground. So what we do is we still visit each property, but then if they have a question or if there's something they can't get to, a lock gate or something, they'll come back to the office and pull it up and look at the satellite imagery and try to find what they're looking for. And there's tools you can use to measure from the air. People don't realize that, but yeah, if there's a barn out there and you can click on the tool, measure it, and it's 30 by 30, then that's what it is. And it's pretty crazy, but yeah, we pick up a lot of stuff.
Somebody that's got maybe 400 or 500 acres out here kind of in the boondocks,
right?
They can do a lot of things that others won't know about, maybe unless you can see it from the air.
Right, and you always want to try to talk to them if you find something like that, just to make sure it is right, because some of that imagery is a little old, and it could have been taken down or destroyed or something. But yeah, we try to if it's there, my job is to locate, discover, and record. So that's, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't. And we picked up stuff several years old that wasn't on the tax roll for years, and that might cause someone to kind of call us about it, and we'll just ask them, hey, do you or do you not still have it? And if they say yes, then there's really no argument. It wouldn't be fair to me or you if we didn't put it on, because we have to put our stuff on. So that's what we do. We just try to be fair and treat everybody right, and don't put something on their property that's not on there, and just make sure their card is correct, and that's all we try to do.
Well, now you mentioned a few minutes ago, I think this particular time of year, this is
It's called the County Board of Equalization.
Yes.
It's appeals. It's going on right now. Actually, tomorrow is our last day. It's through the month of June, but tomorrow is we're full on the last days, and it hadn't been too busy. Rio Appraisal year, it's pretty crazy, pretty slam, but this year I think we probably had less than 10 people appeal. And all that means is, the market value of their home or their business or whatever is more than what we have it appraised for. And that's natural. The farther away you get from reappraisal year, it's going to get away from market value. So nobody calls because, their house is worth more than we have it. So, so they're not going to call us and tell us, hey, my house is too low, I do have another thing that it might be pretty cool. It's a new law that got passed last year. It got passed last year, went into act January 1st of this year, and it's where you can have your property unlisted on the Tennessee Property Data website. So if you want to, it's your primary residence. So if you own like several rental houses or something like that, it doesn't apply to that. Only the place where you lay your head at night is kind of the way it's described to me. But you can call my office at 615-444-8661, or go to our website at wilsonassessor.com, and there's a form on there to request your property be listed as unlisted on the Tennessee Property Data website. And I have forms in the office too, and what that requires is you just have to prove to the assessor's office that is your primary residence through driver's license, government ID, voter registration card, or something like that, and it'll be your address will still show up on the Tennessee Property Data website, but under the owner name, it'll just say unlisted. And that was designed for, years ago, it was designed for like, law enforcement, judges, district attorneys, people like that, domestic violence victims. And then they took it a step further and just made it for everyone. And if you want to, and it's not going to stop people from finding you, but it will make them take an extra step. I mean, you could still find somebody, but it's going to stop. Hopefully, people like trying to buy your house. Everybody gets those things in the mail that says, "Hey, we'd like to buy your house." It may stop that a little bit, but it's still an open records request. I still have to give people information, but they're actually going to have to file an open records request to get that information. So,
Well, I'm just wondering if you're a member of the U.S. Supreme Court, if that might be to your advantage. I'm trying to be funny.
Oh, okay.
How some of them have been hounded when people found out where they live.
That's true, yeah, and that's kind of what it's designed for. I don't know how much time I have left, but a couple of years ago, a guy who worked for the ATF called me, and I knew the guy from when I was in law enforcement, and they had a kind of a SWAT team, a raid go down in Nashville, and one of his agents, they had a little shootout, bad guys, cartel members. Well, the cartel guys wanted to revenge them. So they looked up their names and stuff, and he called me, the guy, and was like, "Hey, I got everything scrubbed from the internet. You're the last person, Steve. I need you to take this off for me." And I was like, "Well, I'm not sure if I can or not, open records and all that stuff." So I made some phone calls, and they were like, "Yes, absolutely not. You can't take it off." The state of Tennessee said this is open records, and I was like, "What am I supposed to do? This guy's in danger. You can just look him up, and they can go to his house." And so what that started is every year when we go to the property assessor's retreat or something, they say, "Anybody have any new ideas?" I would always say, "Hey, we need to do something with this," but it was more geared toward law enforcement, trying to protect people. And then after several years, I'm not saying that I did it, but I gave them an idea a long time ago, but it takes several years for stuff like that to catch on. And somebody somewhere, down there made a law and passed it, but it added everyone, to make it where you can do that. So, but yeah, I just kind of felt helpless when that guy called me because there was nothing I could do.
Yeah.
And but it's a good thing, and it won't solve everything, but it'll make it just a little bit harder. So if anybody has any questions, they can call our office about it at the property assessor's office. We can tell them anything about it, and or they can go to our website.
Let's talk about growth for a minute. Of course, we've had growth for a long time, and it's gotten it's something that's having to be dealt with nearly every time we have a city council meeting or county commission meeting. Growth is one of the things that comes up. How's that affected your office? How are you dealing with it?
Well, I always tell people the property assessor's office is not responsible for the growth. We just have to respond to it. So when these houses are getting built and stuff, and people call me and say, we got to stop this building, we got to do this. You know, I can't do that. I don't have anything to do with it. My job is, once it's built, to put it on the tax roll as fast as I can. So what we do is, the way we respond is, when these building permits come in, these houses, when we think they're ready to be put on the tax roll, we put them on as fast as we can. And that's how we respond.
I've noticed there's a lot of places right here in town that used to be just sort of a big backyard or something, and now there's 4 or 5 houses there.
Yeah.
You've noticed that, of course. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, and that's what keeps us busy is, you may take a farm that one house used to be on, and now there's, 45 houses in there, and our people just go out there every day and put them on as fast as we can, and that's the only thing. The only thing that relates to the property assessor's office is, just put them on as fast as we can, and if we see it, we just got to put them on.
Well, what's next few years look like as far as your office is concerned? Are the things that you know are going to change, you got to deal with, or is it going to be pretty much more the same? What do you look for, say, the next 5 years?
We just work every day, do what as the permits come in. We try to do good reviews, good faith reviews. Don't try to make sure our cards are correct is what we're doing. But what I'm seeing out there right now is used to houses would go for sale. You won't even put a sign in the yard and they would be gone. But now you're starting to see a little more for sale signs out there. A lot of new constructions are they're not finishing as fast as they usually do. I'm not saying it's slowing down that bad, but that's the things that I see right now. But who knows what it'll be 5 years from now? All I know is we're pretty steady busy, and we got plenty of work to do.
What about business growth and maybe even new factories, but new buildings? I don't know what it is. I know something down in Mount Juliet along Interstate there, where it used to be a little valley, a ravine or something. There's a great big monstrous building going right now. Yeah,
we're constantly picking up stuff down there in Mount Juliet. Close to 109 is kind of growing up a little bit. There's a lot of new apartments. Gas stations, stuff like that. There's a couple of gas stations on Golden Bear. There's a lot of commercial boom down there, and that is picking up pretty good.
Is commercial much different from the residential for your office?
Yeah, it's quite a bit different. You don't have as many as you do residential, because I have 3 commercial dedicated to commercial, and the rest I have maybe 7 or 8 residentials. Commercial, it takes maybe 2 or 3 people sometimes to measure a big warehouse, whereas one single residential house, one person can do it. Then you also have different calls as far as like the asphalt, the lighting. Even the codes are different when it comes to what you put on the property record card. Yeah, but it's totally different. But residential is more busy, I would say, than the commercial stuff. Even commercial buildings don't really sell that much around here. They don't change hands that much. Whereas houses, you may have 2 or 3 sales in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Are we probably? We're doing about the same in Wilson County as we are in our adjoining counties of comparable size, not necessarily compared to Davidson, but Rutherford, Sumner, Williamson.
Yeah, we are. we're one of the top, growing counties in the state. And what's crazy as far as Wilson County sales and stuff go, we affect other counties around us. So like, back in the day, you could go buy a piece of land in like Cannon County, Smith County, Trousdale for worth the price. But now, those assessors are calling me saying, our prices are crazy over here because people can't afford to live in Wilson County anymore. So what do? You go to the next county because if you might work here, you want to live as close as you can to where you work. So then they go to Macon County, Trousdale, and their guys are calling me saying, hey, all these Wilson County people are moving to us, and driving our prices up. So, but that's what's happening. And the closer you get to a booming place, the outliers are going to start growing up. Because eventually you go east, and then you start running into the Cookeville, the Putnam County area. You go, west, you hit Nashville, Williamson County, and all that stuff. So it's starting to just bleed over to other counties, the growth.
Well, we've come to the end of our time here this morning, but I've enjoyed your visit and appreciate, I think, the good job that you're doing. You're taking care of us, and you are the property assessor. You're not the trustee.
Yeah, I like my job, and the more I do it, the more I get comfortable doing it, and I appreciate everybody allow me to do it, and hopefully continue to serve and take care of people.
And as you did say, you haven't maybe officially done it, but you are going to run again for re-election.
Yes, sir.
Next year.
Yes, sir. I plan on it.
Well, Stephen Goodall, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for your time.
Visit. That's part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford, get a battery installed on most vehicles. $149.95. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still quite a bit of traffic volume right now on 24 westbound. Going through that section of Robertson County there at Pleasant View as they clean up an accident. That's going to slow you down as you head towards Clarksville. Of course, it's heavy coming the other direction there on 24 East all the way up from Pleasant View to get up to the Whites Creek Pike exit there in the Jolton area. Heavy traffic continues 24 in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 as you head up through the Hickory Hollow area. Lots of radar in Wilson County this morning up and down sections of I-40. Hey, Nash Painting, they service all of Middle Tennessee. These guys are absolutely the best for commercial or residential. Check them out online at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Get a great deal on select Kubota equipment, the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S. The versatile lineup features performance-matched attachments to help you make the most of your land. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/offers for full disclaimer.
Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon.
The sun is back out for us today and should bring temperatures into the upper 80s. Of course, we can't totally rule out a scattered rain shower this time of year, but nothing is looking severe. Low around 70 tonight with temperatures back in the upper 80s for Tuesday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm #1 Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two. It is a Monday morning. Billy Mullinax is here. Get ready to go from Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 600 Pleasant Grove Road in Mount Juliet. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
How was your weekend?
Oh, it was good. It was good. Beautiful weekend, that's for sure. A little bit of rain yesterday, but all in all, it was really nice.
I don't think we got the rain they were talking about last night. I didn't stay awake to see, but I didn't see much that had fallen this morning.
Well, I heard a little thunder and stuff, in the night, but I don't think we got much.
Yeah. Well, how are things at Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram?
Coleman, we're just trucking right along in June. In fact, about to come to the end of June.
Yeah.
And so
that's right. This is the last Monday in June.
These months are getting by in a hurry. Where the year is halfway gone, and I don't know where it's gone.
Well, I'd have to say the same thing. It doesn't seem like time flies anymore.
It does.
And the older you get, the faster it seems to go.
That is a true statement also. But things are going really well. Inventory keeps growing a little bit as far as new vehicles, and I
think that will continue for a little while. At some point it'll stabilize, but we're way ahead of where we have been for really quite some time now. So better selections for people if they're looking for something in particular.
People have got to appreciate the better selection. When we've gone through a time when you had maybe a third or a fourth as many vehicles available as you do now. You've got 3 or 4 times as many as you had at one time.
Well, more than that, actually. But yeah, people do appreciate that, Coleman, because sometimes people they're needing a vehicle and really need to purchase something, but they just can't find what they're looking for. So sometimes they have to, say a year ago, they would have had to settle for maybe not exactly what they wanted. But now, with the inventories that we've got, it's a little easier to find what you're looking for.
Well, that's great. And we remind everybody, of course, you are open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., your sales department.
Yep.
And of course, we have to always remind people that inventory we're talking about, both new and pre-owned cars, can be seen at mountjulietcdjr.com.
Might even see your neighbor there, Coleman.
Got that in another time.
Another time.
mountjulietcdjr.com. That, of course, is for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. And I don't know whether I've ever asked you this or not, and I'm just wondering, you have a lot of pre-owned cars.
Yes.
You have a good inventory of the new ones. What percent? Do you sell half and half? Do you sell twice as many new ones as you do the pre-owned, or you sell twice as many pre-owned as you do new? Does that vary?
Coleman, it's been difficult to answer that. We have been selling quite a bit more pre-owned because of the amount of inventory and the lack of inventory in new. Mm-hmm. Now, with the new inventory growing, that number is getting back closer, together. We do still sell more pre-owned vehicles right now than what we do new vehicles. Not near as many more as what we did, though. Mm-hmm. And as inventory continues to grow a little bit, that'll get back closer to being an even number as far as new and used. But right now we sell more pre-owned.
Yeah. Well, again, go to the website and check it all out. And remember that you do offer service after the sale, which is another important thing.
Well, it's very important that you be able to get your car taken care of after you purchase it, Coleman. And, and even if you didn't buy your vehicle from us, and you've got a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram product, we'll be glad to take care of it. There's, sometimes when you go in service departments where you didn't buy the vehicle, they don't really want to take care of you sometimes, but we welcome everybody, regardless of where they bought the vehicle at. We'd be glad to take care of them.
If you got a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram, you welcome them for service.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you can brag on your service department a little bit. I know some have been there for a pretty good while.
They have. We've got technicians that have been there, Coleman, longer than I have been, and that's been since 2012. But we do have a great team put together back there, and that's a tough department. When you get into the service department, that's the sales side's a little easier because everybody loves to buy a new vehicle. But they typically don't want to spend money on what they've already got. So they do a great job in a tough environment.
Well, are you looking for people either in your service department or sales department?
Coleman, we're not. We could use probably a salesman or so. We're not hurting for one, but if the right person came along, we would certainly take a look at that person. And then, technicians, we could use a technician.
Yeah. If you got good credentials, chances are good you could get a job.
Well, come see us. We're pretty selective, but come see us. We'd love to talk to them.
And come see the aquarium that Billy loves as well.
That's right. It's I was looking at it, customer there on Saturday.
Those fish in there are about getting fattened up. We're ready to eat.
Watch it, Pete. Watch it.
Y'all been feeding them all these years.
We have.
I've seen them little minnows grow into nice fillets. I mean, nice sized fish.
If I see him walk in with a fishing pole, Coleman, I'm going to be on guard.
Well, it is a saltwater aquarium that
Yes.
you're really proud of, and you've had. I guess you installed that when you opened up, didn't you?
We did. In fact, had to bring it in before we put the front on the building because of the size of it. And so, yeah, it's been there ever since the beginning, and it's not planning on going anywhere.
All right. Well, one other thing we did mention at the end of the month here, your trade-in still might be worth a little bit.
Might
more
be
this
worth
week.
just a little bit more through Friday, which is the end of the month, and could be worth a tad bit more than it was on the first day.
All right. Well, Billy, have a great week. You've already had a good month. Have an even greater month by this time Friday, and we'll see you next month.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Billy Mullinax, who's general manager for Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 600 Pleasant Grove Road in Mount Juliet. We are 21 minutes away from 8 o'clock, and Uncle Pete is here this morning. I usually introduce him as the one and only Uncle Pete.
Good morning, Wilson County and the surrounding areas. This portion of your program today is being brought to you live and in Technicolor by the veterans of Wilson County.
Well, you've got some. In fact, you called me. I was wondering what I was going to do in this segment last week. I hadn't scheduled anybody and had somebody in mind to call. I was working on it, and the phone rings, and it's you. I need to be on. I've got an announcement. We've got some great news. And I said, well, how's Monday sound? So you are here.
Absolutely.
And you brought me some Uncle Pete's coffee this morning.
Absolutely. I never come without coffee for you.
Well, we're glad to see you, and I do appreciate the coffee. Although I will say I've cut back a little bit. I'm still drinking coffee, but not as much as I did. But yours is still good.
So you're under a gallon now.
Yeah, yeah. Let's say that. Well, you of course you've been working. You've had Uncle Pete. When you took that over? What year was that?
35 years ago.
What year was it? 30. Oh, well, I can't subtract.
89.
Oh, okay. All right.
like that.
You've been there longer than we've been doing Coleman and Company.
Well, actually, my birthday's on October the 2nd. Y'all open on October the 1st. And
93.
2 days later, the gentleman that passed away came and talked to me about
Clyde
being on
Harbor.
the
Yeah.
Clyde Harbor. And I said, hey, it might not be a bad idea.
And you were here, I think it was on Wednesday morning for a
Yes, sir.
long time.
Yeah, for a long
but
time.
you've gotten involved even more, I think, with the veterans here of late and seen some of the things that other people really maybe aren't paying as much attention to as you would like, and you've kind of taken it on yourself to head in that direction. Part of the result of that's getting the old fire station at Hartman Drive and Badua Parkway that the city is letting you have and make a place for veterans.
Yes,
And-
that's
and
now the new Lebanon Veterans Center.
And of course, it takes some money to renovate and to do what to get it to get from point A to point B, what you're wanting to have there, and so we've got some good news to talk about that this morning.
Yes, we have an anonymous veteran who has pledged $10,000 if I can raise $10,000. Well, I took him up on his bet, and I'm at $2,500. Only need another $7,500, and I'll get 10. And he said, if you can do that, I might do some other things.
So that means if you can raise another $7,500 to go with the $2,500 you've already raised, then you got that $10,000 plus the $10,000 that he has promised.
Yes, yes.
So that's $20,000.
$20,000.
Yeah, what'll that do?
Well,
That's a start.
that will help with the internal furnishings, with some of the things that we need for the interior. We young people coming out of the military for a number of years in Middle Tennessee can go to Nashville to the VA or Murfreesboro to the VA. We've got a great veteran service center here that helps them get their benefits, But after that, where do you go? What do you do? And the Veteran Center will be that catalyst. We will have different programs going on within the center, but we'll also have a place for a young vet or a vet in need or a vet who's thinking about ending his life to come and sit and come and just get away from everything and come and talk to an older vet who's been there and done that. PTSD, we didn't invent. It goes back to the Persian Wars. It's always been there. It's how you cope with that is the important part. Some people can't, and those we lose, but we don't need to lose another one. There's people out there who for years have said, well, if you ever get that together, let me know and I'll help you.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know, help me. We need things. Eventually, we hope to have a once a year marathon on Armed Forces Day that will take all veteran programs, all different branches into one catalyst and run for money. And then once that's done, we will have an income that we can help more and more and more. And somebody asked me, said, well, how many years you going to do this? 2. I've promised my family, I've promised everybody, I'll get this thing going. I'll be there for 2 years. And then I want some of these younger people under 50, to pick up the reins and go with this. I don't want this to ever quit. I want this to be there a long time. I told somebody when I finally go meet my maker, I want the ambulance to go by that place on the way out, and that'll be in about 25 or 30 years.
We got to take a break. MJ, we need to do a break, and if you're ready, we will do that right here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, where premium brands require premium parts and service. Contact Absolute Kubota's Elite Certified Service Department to schedule an appointment. 615-449-6171. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still pretty heavy right now on 24 as expected this time of the morning westbound. 24 through the Hickory Hollow area coming in from Rutherford County. I still see a delay if you're headed towards Clarksville through that section of Robertson County on 24 westbound around Pleasant View where we had that earlier crash. Still pretty crowded coming down Vietnam Fence as you get on that ramp there to 65 headed southbound. Nash Painting, they're #1 in Middle Tennessee in residential and commercial painters. Check out their website today at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Bador Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Pete Norman, Uncle Pete is with us this morning. He still hangs out at Uncle Pete's truck stop and brings us coffee from there every time you come. And it's good coffee.
Yeah, Saturday morning we had a lot of different groups that meet at Uncle Pete's and have breakfast. And I go around, talk, cut up, tell a few jokes, and have a good time. And we put a jar out and raised almost $200 Saturday. Mm-hmm. And you just made a commitment to help us. And like you said, 75 people, $100, we've got it.
Yep.
Or one benevolent person and one check, and we've got it. But this is not for me. This is for your grandchildren. This is for your niece or your nephew or your cousins or your daddy. You know, that's like the flag, our flag program. I thought of something last night, and I've contacted a couple of people that I went to high school with, and I said, if y'all can help me put together a list of all of our classmates who died while in the military, I'm going to buy every one of them a flag. and fly it at our flag program. The field of flags is growing in leaps and bounds. So if you want to do something to honor your school or your classmates or your cousins or nieces or grandparents or great-grandfather, come by and buy one. You can pick them up at Uncle Pete's truck stop right there in front of the second lieutenant that's standing at attention. Fill it out, put the name on it, we'll label the flag and fly it at the fairgrounds right there as you come in on the right-hand side.
When do you do this?
Start on the 1st, end on the 4th.
Oh, of July. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
So you're getting ready to do that next weekend then?
Yes, sir. In fact, I've got to go sometime today and pick up some more rebar. We drive a rebar in the ground and put the flagpole on top of the rebar, and that way the flag turns, it doesn't get twisted, and stands at attention.
Yeah. Well, back to this fundraiser here. This is not all that much money in one way. It's very magnanimous for a gesture of somebody to agree to donate $10,000 of their money if you can match it, and surely you're going to be able to do this.
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt whatsoever. People in Wilson County love their veterans. Yeah. People in Wilson County are great when it comes to helping people. And so I'm not worried about this. I just, come on in. The sooner we get this together, the sooner I can come back on the Coleman Show and say, we got that 10,000, we headed to another one.
Well, now, I passed by that building the other day, and I look over there, and it's nothing is happening. It looks the same as it did to me 6 months ago.
The new sign got finished Friday. I'm going to pick up the signs. There will be a sign on the front of it that will have a light that'll come on at night and illuminate it. Some of those old bushes and stuff out there, I've got a couple of friends, and we're going to go down there and take chainsaws and prune some of them bushes that have died.
Good.
We've got a pile of stuff out front. We're going to get it hauled off and cleaned up.
Well, I honestly think that if you will do that and people can see some change there on the outside, it might remind them of what is going to happen. If they've heard about this, they'll say, well, something is being done. We are making progress here.
Yes.
Right now, there's not a lot of progress to be shown on the outside.
The next thing that goes up is I've got somebody who is building us a 3-tiered flagpole.
Yeah.
And that flagpole will go up, and it will have a flag on it, and we'll have a light on that flagpole, so that flag will fly. It and the POW flag will fly forever. We'll change them periodically as they wear out, but that's it. There'll always be a flag there.
Well, I think no doubt you still feel you're very thankful to the city of Lebanon for donating
absolutely.
this building, making this possible.
Yes. And Coleman, that came from this show.
Well, I know, yeah.
That came from this show. That somebody heard me on this radio and called me up, the mayor, and said, maybe we can help.
Yeah.
And he got his crew together, his team together, and they found something. I went in front of the city council, and the city council said, sure.
Well, we just got to get the ball rolling here.
Yes.
And matching this $10,000 is just a step in the right direction, without a doubt.
And let's match it plus. And if you've got, we're going to need furniture. We're going to need things inside, couches, a lounge area. We've got a couple of pool tables that have been given to us. We've got some other things that have been given to us. We're going to need some televisions and computers and folding chairs and tables and stuff like that. So this is not something that stops today.
Yeah. Well, anybody that would be able to donate, or even if it's questionable, I feel sure you'd appreciate a phone call.
Absolutely.
Before they throw it away, see if it's something you could use, or maybe they've got something that you wouldn't throw away, but something they don't need to take and donate.
Yes, and you can go online and find the American Legion, the VFW, or the VVA. You can also call the truck stop or come by the truck stop. We have things to buy the flags, and you can drop off donations there, make the check payable to the Lebanon Veteran Center. It is a 501c and has an account with Wilson Bank and Trust. So if you want to stop by Wilson Bank and Trust and transfer a few $1,000s into our account, be more than appreciated. And you can be like this gentleman. You can be anonymous. And some people want to be that way. Or you can give it in somebody's name. We're going to allow, at some point, if you spend enough money to do a whole room, put somebody's name on that door.
Yeah. Well, to get to the 10,000 here, let's say somebody wants to donate. They get $100 or maybe $500 or even $1,000. They could donate today. What's the easiest way to do that?
You can pick up the phone, call me, and I'll come get it if it's over $100. And that number is 615-804-4404 has never changed since I got a brick phone back 30-something years ago.
804
4404. Yes, sir.
But the guy with a lot of fours in his phone number.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you can also come by the truck stop anytime, and you can see the people at the fuel desk. And not only will they take your donation, they will give you a receipt so that you can, if you want to, deduct that from your taxes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's good to know as well. Well, how long you have a plan?
I'm hoping to be open before the end of this year.
Yeah.
I want to have a grand opening. I would love to have it sometime in October. I would love to do that. Of course, that's my birth year, and that's also the month that the radio station was founded 30 years ago. So I would love to do that, and I'd like to have the radio station out there, and we'll grill hamburgers and hot dogs and have a good time.
Well, it would be nice to have it in place by Veterans Day, which is in November, so somewhere in that time frame. But by the end of the year, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
But your contributions are going to have a lot to do with this.
Yes.
The help from the community.
The more we get, the faster we go.
What are the veterans that have heard about this, the ones that you come in contact with, and some of them probably are older, but how enthused are they about this?
Well, you've got some that are excited like I am, and you've got some that are in reserve because they don't want us to bite off something that will bite us back.
Yeah.
But I think even with those in mind, once they start seeing the good things that can happen out there, they'll understand. I think we'll have a lot of people who will volunteer to come and keep it open, man it open. At some point down the road, we hope to be able to raise enough money yearly to have a one-person staff that's there. Mm-hmm. So at any time during the day, you can come by and just drop down, have a cup of coffee, and sit.
Well, now, do you envision that this being total volunteer, or would it be somebody maybe that's actually paid to?
Well, if we can get the marathon going, we should be able to afford a one person that would keep it open during the daytime. Mm-hmm. And then we would have volunteers for the weekends and volunteers for other things. We envision that we'll be able to have meetings and offer that place for people to have meetings there. We would hope that a program with VA for counseling services around a round table or a group session for counseling, for employment counseling and stuff would be there, so that there would be activities going on throughout the day, hopefully most days of the week.
But here again, you're thinking more of younger people being helped.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's some older veterans out there that need to talk to somebody, who have got problems, who cope with them to the best of their ability. But going to the VA to cope with a problem is different than going to me or you and saying, hey, Pete, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I have phone calls like that every week. You know, people that have overextended themselves, people that their car broke down. We just got one back together, you know, and he had nowhere to get anywhere. We were taking him to the VA, and I asked him, I said, you know, does your car run? No. That's another thing we need. If you have a vehicle that runs pretty decent or runs at all, and you want to do something for the veteran, give it to us. We'll give it to a vet that needs a vehicle. Right now, I need, in the worst way, the ladies' veteran home needs a van, something they can put a wheelchair in and take people to and from the thing. Their van, with 488,000 miles, I thought for sure it'd make $500,000, died.
Yeah.
It's sitting in their driveway over there off of Castle Heights, dead.
Can it be fixed?
No,
No.
it's made its last run.
All right.
The next run's going to be to Steiner and Lift in Nashville.
To the junkyard.
To the junkyard.
Pete, we're out of time, but if you can help make a contribution here, help match this $10,000 so that the Lebanon Veteran Center gets $20,000, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, this is not for me. This is for those veterans out there that need this.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us this morning. I always appreciate your visit, and we'll remind everybody to join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company right here at the same place, same time. And until tomorrow, I wish you a magnificent